Hi, we are now streaming live on YouTube. This is the preliminary hearing for State of Georgia versus Dustin Hayes, warrant number 2024 WA 76927, aggravated assault. And that is the only charge, correct?
That's correct, Judge.
All righty. Representing the state is Attorney Freeman. Representing the defendant is Attorney Lewis. Your witness, Attorney Freeman.
Your Honor, your video isn't on.
There you go. Thank you.
Officer Holloway, would you raise your right hand, please? Do you swear and affirm that the testimony about to provide in the matter of State of Georgia versus Dustin Hayes will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? We couldn't hear you.
I do.
Please tell us your name and how you're employed.
Charles Holloway, very well at Clayton County Police Department.
How long have you been with the Clayton County Police Department?
Almost 8 years.
And sir, were you working with the Clayton County Police Department on May 12th of 2024?
Yes, ma'am, I was.
On that particular day, did you respond to 746 Garden Walk Boulevard in College Park, Georgia?
Yes, I did.
Was that an apartment complex?
Yes, ma'am.
And was that a specific apartment that you responded to?
Apartment 11. Building K, apartment 11.
When you arrived at that apartment, who did you make contact with?
Initially, we made contact with the victim, Mr. Green, out at the front gate of the apartment complex.
What did Mr. Green tell you that happened?
He had stated that he had been chased by a white male in the complex and hit with a taser in the stomach at least twice. He ran from the initial apartment incident location and ran out to the front gate hoping to get away, and that's when I made contact with him.
Was Mr. Green able to give you a description or a name of the individual that he stated tased him?
He actually was able to take us right back to the exact apartment and point out the male that was still inside the apartment.
Did Mr. Green reside in this apartment?
He was actually a homeless male that they had seen across the way the last couple of days before the incident, and they allowed him to sleep on the couch.
After getting the information from Mr. Green, did you go to, you said apartment K11?
Building K, apartment 11, yes, ma'am.
Yeah. When you got to that apartment, who did you make contact with?
Initially, we made contact. Do you mind if I look at my report for recollection? Initially,
you can do so, and then just let us know after you've had a chance to refresh your recollection.
Initially, we had made contact with Mr. Lawrence Stoner. It was his apartment that he had sublet to a Dustin Hayes.
Was Mr. Stoner there during the incident?
Yes, ma'am.
Was he able to provide you a statement about what he saw or heard?
Yes, he and the victim both provided written statements.
What did Mr. Stoner say?
There had been a verbal altercation between him and Mr. Green. That during the altercation, Green had gotten upset with Mr. Hayes because Hayes had taken food away from him that he was told he was allowed to have, and was told to leave. Decided to go to the couch. When he went back to the couch, Mr. Hayes took a taser, not a taser like we carry, but a stun gun, and kept sparking the taser stun gun at him in a threatening manner. Mr. Green stated that Hayes exchanged verbal words with him. At some point in time, Hayes alleged that Mr. Green called him cracker, at which time he got up from his chair at the computer desk, walked about 5 to 7 feet to the couch, and hit Mr. Green in the stomach with the taser.
Did Mr. Stoner indicate whether or not he saw Mr. Hayes strike?
He said initially he heard the arguing in the living room area. He came out of his bedroom area and he witnessed the tasing incident.
How many times did he state Mr. Hayes tased Mr. Green?
I believe he said 2, if I remember correctly.
And how many times did Mr. Green state that Mr. Hayes tased him?
He said several.
Were you able to locate the taser that was used?
Taser was in plain view when we walked in, sitting on the computer desk. He even told us that he had tased him in self-defense.
Has that taser been placed into evidence? I'm sorry, I couldn't hear.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Did Mr. Stoner indicate whether or not Mr. Green had used any weapons against Mr. Hayes?
No, there was. He and Green both advised there were no other weapons used. If I remember correctly, the victim stated that after he was tased, he had to void his bowels due to the intense pain in the stomach.
Did Mr. Green have to get any kind of medical treatment?
EMS responded to the scene. They treated him and observed him, and he didn't require any further assessment.
Did this happen in Clayton County?
He did.
Were there any other witnesses that you were able to speak to who saw any of this?
No, it was just the three parties that I had written down.
Thank you. No further questions.
All right, Cross.
Great. Officer Holloway, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
I can. Thank you. How you doing today, sir?
Doing wonderful, sir. How are you?
Oh, I'm here. I'm lit.
I feel you.
Let's run through a few things just to make sure, just to decongest what came out there. Who had the verbal argument? I heard you say him and Mr. Green. Who was the him?
Mr. Hayes.
Mr. Hayes. All right. And then who permitted Mr. Hayes, Mr. Green to have the food?
Mr. Stoner had told him he could stay for the night. Told me if he needed to use the restroom, shower, get some food out of the fridge, he could.
Okay, got it. And what space did Stoner sublet to Hayes?
There is another bedroom. It's almost like a little office to the corner of the apartment where he allowed him to put his bed and his belongings in.
Okay, gotcha. And then I heard you say that Hayes admitted using the taser against Green in self-defense. Did you find any other weapons there?
There were no other weapons. No. He said that Mr. Green came at him in a offensive manner, at which time he hit him in the stomach with a taser.
Okay. Comparing the two men side by side, is one of them much bigger than the other?
No, so they're about equal. They're almost the exact same height and size.
All right. And then this last part, this part I'm really found interesting. Who's the cracker?
I believe that would be Mr. Hayes.
All right. So Mr. Green calls Mr. Hayes a cracker.
Yes, sir.
All right. Does this precede or follow the tasing event?
This happened before the tasing incident.
Okay. All right. And were you wearing your body cam that day?
Yes, sir.
On an active?
All three of us were. Yes, sir.
And labeled down, all of them?
All of them labeled.
Perfect. Thank you.
All right, any redirect?
No, Your Honor, the state rests.
All right, closing documents.
The state waives opening.
All right.
Submit on the testimony, Judge.
Okay, based upon the evidence presented, we do find that there is sufficient probable cause to bind the aggravated assault charge over to the Superior Court of Clayton County. That's the order of the court.
Thank you, Your Honor. And Officer Holloway, you're excused. Thank you. Thank you for your patience.
Pleasure as always.
Thank you.
And
And
then
Judge,
we'll
we're ready to proceed on Bregel Sanders. That's with Deputy King.
You said Regal Sand, okay. All right,
All
we
right.
can bring Sanders and you're gonna step away for just a moment.
Yeah, I was about to say, I thought we had that.
Hey, excuse me. This is Deputy King. Are we able to give like 5 or 10 minutes? I'm finishing up the class right now, and then I'll be available.
Okay, well, I think the judge is gonna let us take about a 5-minute break.
Yes.
Deputy King, do you want us, because we can do another hearing in this place. I was just trying to go in order.
Yes, ma'am. That'd be perfect if you can do that. Yes,
Okay, Judge, we can do Wapples with Officer Kralova.
Okay, we'll do that one
Thank you
next.
so much.
Okay, thank you. And
Thank
I'll
you.
be right back, Judge.
All right.
Thank you. Deputies, if you can hear me, you can go ahead and get Mr. Wapples up.
And Mr. Hayes, good to go back to his housing unit?
Yes.
Who's
All right,
next?
thank you. Wapples, Wapples.
Okay.
All right, thank you. Mhm.
Is Hayes on that Friday calendar? Freeman?
Yes, Creel.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Ready, Judge.
Judge, I'm back. So whenever the court is ready, we're ready to proceed on Wapples.
All right, and so who are we doing now? Not Hayes. We're gonna do Wapples.
Yes, Judge, it's Wapples. And Judge, the officer on Samuel Bush should be logging on. And I noticed we still have someone logged on as producer. Was that from the earlier case, or I didn't know why that person was still logged on?
There's a grant Brandon trying to get in, officer.
Right, that's Officer Bush. Mm-hmm.
And so the producer, is that, if you would turn your camera on, and are you from the cases earlier? If so, you can go ahead and log off.
Oh, so again, you can keep your video off until we're ready to start.
Yes, ma'am.
Right, you can stay muted. Yours isn't up just yet.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
And are you Mr. Javier Wapples? Yes, okay, hold on.